Welcome to Marvel Champions Podcast. It's a podcast about Marvel Champions, the card game. I'm your host, Scott, and with me as always, my co-host, Ryan.
Yes, and it is finally time for us to do some more reviews that we have not done yet. We're a couple of months behind, I feel like, but it is what it is.
They just keep rocking out with all these articles, so probably by the time this one comes out, there'll be another article that we'll have to review.
Yeah, this will be way behind. Yeah, that's how it always works. But you know what? We're talking about some M.O.D.O.K today. This should be fun.
That's right. Third villain in the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. box, so
Now,
pretty good.
Yeah, I think recently we did some listener questions, and we talked about third villains for a little bit, and I feel like the third villain slot in all the campaign boxes have been just all right, but not necessarily like bad, but just all right. I don't know if there's been any that have been like amazing. Can you think of one?
So I'm like trying to run down the list here. Taskmaster's pretty good. Collector 2's good. Mysterio's good. I know I skipped one in there.
Thanos, he's okay.
Let's see. Who was the third one in
You've got
Juggernaut?
Juggernaut, Master Mold.
So those
Master
are some...
Mold can be kind of...
Yeah, I mean, I think overall those are probably in the upper half of most everybody's, ranking of most villains.
Yeah,
so,
yes.
I think it's going to be like middle of the pack and up. I don't think that you're going to have really many stragglers below that middle average line.
Middle of the box, middle of the road villains. I mean, there you go. It's doing exactly what it's supposed to do.
Yeah. So, does Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. keep that trend? That's the real question, right?
That is the real question. Let's get into it because I think you're going to have some hot takes. I'm going to have some hot takes.
Think so?
Probably not, but I'm trying to make the people get excited.
All right. Let's see what we got here. So, M.O.D.O.K, they got his name right. They didn't have to errata his name like the original encounter said.
Oh, yeah. Don't bring it up. It's too soon. All right.
It's too fresh.
Too fresh. All it's only like 5 years old.
Yeah. So Retaliate's one of his big things. His villain plays a lot with his whole scenarios gimmick. I think the big thing I wanted to ask you on this one, Ryan, is he kind of changed things up a little bit with having a set health that's not per player. So what'd you think about that?
I think Batroc also had that, didn't he? Yeah, Batroc also had a set health and an A and a B. So they kind of did the same thing again for M.O.D.O.K, which I'm okay with because I like the like A B expert not killing the villain. It's a different way of playing the game. So I don't mind that actually. So, and for the scenario, what it's doing with the whole lock counters, holding cell stuff, I think it worked in this case.
Okay. Anything with his traits, aerial, cyborg, psionic?
They're traits. I mean, most of the time it doesn't matter, but maybe with the right setup, it could be different. Maybe if you played with something from Mr. Sinister, I don't know.
All right. He's a little bit beefier, steady, an extra retaliate on his B side, so nothing crazy there.
I do think that retaliate too. That's pretty rough.
You've got a plan for that. You got a plan to hit him with overkills. To me, like one of the first things with the retaliate is Maria Hill kind of games this villain from the box pretty easy.
Yeah.
So,
and that's one thing we've noticed on a lot of the villains is you can kind of, with at least the heroes in the box, you can kind of get around a lot of their mechanisms like retaliate 2 because of the way they operate.
So you definitely get a different experience depending on the heroes that you're playing.
Yeah. So overall, I think as a villain card, I didn't mind it. I like seeing that high threat or scheme in this case. So I didn't mind M.O.D.O.K as a villain card.
Yep. Let's see. So two things. So when you defeat him, you remove these lock counters. That helps you progress to the hopefully successful defeat of him. The other thing I wanted to point out on his main scheme is it does not have a when completed you lose. It kind of is another progression type of thing. When it would be completed, you set aside a random adaptoid environment into play, and then if you can't do that anymore because you let it scheme out so many times, you pretty much lose the game.
Yeah, which I appreciate. I like the different variety of gameplay and how to lose. It's not losing because you scheme out. It's losing because of the adaptable environments needing to come out, which I guess is kind of in the same way like scheming out. It's just a lot longer and how it does that a different way.
And the game probably gets a little more difficult for you. So
yeah, it starts scaling. Now, should we discuss the holding cells or should we go into those adaptoid environments?
we can go into the environments. You can pull up a couple of them.
Let's do it. So it starts off with one of these environments, these like upgrades that basically soups up the adaptoid, which is the main minion in this one. It just gets stronger. So you've got your strong one, which is giving it plus attack. You've got the Sarah Garza, which is kind of like the bigger one. It's gaining the plus attack as well, but it gains overkill and ranged. Then there's this one, the Psionic, which gives it villainous, which is pretty interesting. And then the other one I believe does thwart. Yep. Oh, and it gains insight 1, which I think is interesting, and gains aerial. So I think each one of those does something a little bit different and unique, other than kind of the Sarah Garza and the strong one. They're kind of the same, except for Sarah's just worse. But I think it's a good change of pace. Each game can be different. So I like that.
There is that kind of replayability. Right? You're going to start with one, and then how bad you play, there could be more, and they stack, right? They don't replace each other. If you do start with this one, they're that for the whole game, and then you reveal this one, then they're that and this. So it's just making them more adapted and harder to defeat.
Yeah. And I don't think the Adaptoid is a bad minion. I think just straight up as it is, I think it's a pretty solid one. It's a higher health. Doesn't do too much damage, but it's going to have at least one of those upgrades to enhance it. So it's not just face value, and it's just going to get stronger through the game if you're not able to maintain that threat.
Yeah, I like the boost too. Like I think if you're going to lean into this Adaptoid as part of the scenario, I want to see the Adaptoid. So
yeah,
I think you start with one. There's ways to keep them kind of involved so they're not just filling the discard pile. So I like that feel, because if you look like on his villain card, there's like a whole army of them kind of helping him. So I want it to feel that way. So I'm glad they kind of built in a couple of those to go fetch them and recur them and keep them as a potential bad card.
Yep. Absolutely agree. I think it's a solid minion for this, and I think they do a good job, like you said, of keeping them involved in the scenario. Let's talk about these holding cells, because I have mixed feelings on them.
Okay.
So just to kind of wrap it up for those listening, because I'm sure most of them have already played it, but if you haven't, basically you're trying to rescue some of these Inhumans that are locked away, and you've got to rescue them all before you can win the game. So every time you defeat M.O.D.O.K, you get unlock counters to unlock it, as well as you defeat adaptoids, you can unlock them. And then just piece by piece you're gaining them, but they can die. And if they die, they go back into the cell, and you got to get them back out. So it's a process. You got to get them all out, but you just got to be careful with them, because they can die if you're not careful.
Yeah, they all have health. Most of them have 5. The strong one has 7. So they all do things too, right? But they all take consequential damage. So there's that fine balance of, okay, I kind of need to use it here. Is there like response or something they do worth activating them, or do I just need to sit on them to help the game progress?
Yeah. So I think this is where I have a struggle, is we've kind of seen similar ideas in other scenarios, like Morlock Siege, where you can get the Morlocks and they can help you. And then the scenario before this, you've got the brown arrow.
Batroc? Yeah, Batroc.
Yes, Batroc. He's got the lady that does stuff. So I feel like there's a lot of similarities, but I do like the lock counters. What are you laughing about?
You're like
the lady that does
lady
stuff
that hits them with the frying pan. Okay, yeah. I think it's a
I
captive
couldn't remember what the
ally,
artwork.
something like that. Yeah.
I couldn't remember the artwork, but I just remember I used to think it was like a lady hitting this villain with a purse, but I think
It's
she's
an
like
aim soldier,
punching
I
him.
think. Yeah.
It's
Here, well,
okay. I'm looking at it now. It's a
we're
fire
gonna slide
hydrant.
up here.
Yeah, hits him in the side of the head.
Not
So,
a fire
like,
hydrant, a fire extinguisher.
Yeah, did I say fire hydrant?
You did.
Roll the tape back. I probably
Okay.
did. I said extinguisher.
Okay.
Either way, that guy's got a concussion.
That's right. She hit him in the back. Okay. Don't mess with her.
Yeah.
Oh.
Don't mess with her. But a lot of similar ideas. I like the idea of the lock counters and defeating and unlocking. Like that whole concept, I'm cool with. But I don't know. It felt a little too easy. Like once you got those allies out, they were pretty strong and were really helpful. And it really wasn't that difficult to take M.O.D.O.K out, I felt like. Or since the Adaptoids are always coming out, I can just take them out and they unlock. So it just kind of, I felt like the benefit was a little bit stronger than any negative.
I think it's a scaling mismatch is kind of what you're feeling. We played most of our games are 2 players. Like beating M.O.D.O.K once, 10 hit points, 10 points worth of damage. You get 2 of those lock counters off. You know, for a 1-player game, you're like you completely unlocked it, right? But then if you're playing with a 4-player game, I mean that's 1/4 of the way of unlocking. So you got to defeat M.O.D.O.K 4 times to get one of these to unlock.
Outside of like the hero action that's on the holding cell where you can do extra lock counters.
Yeah, but that just seems expensive.
I didn't do it very often unless I was like, I really need to get rid of this for some reason. So
yeah, unless there was like one lock counter just kind of randomly holding there, and you're like, okay, I kind of have this dead hand anyways. I'll just throw it towards there. Which I see you could make the argument with a higher player game. You have more people that can use that. It's not as not as bad, but still, I think a little bit of that is a little bit of a scaling mismatch with how many lock counters are coming off and how many it starts with. I think probably 2 or 3 is that sweet spot, like a 2-3 player game. Probably 2 more than 3, but
yeah,
I definitely think you're going to get a different play out of a different player count with this one.
Yeah, I think even the help when you're doing a solo and you start getting these extra allies to help you, it dramatically changes the game versus I think more players it's less of an impact. But I think if you're lucky and you get, I think it's the psionic inhuman and he removes lock counters, like that's super powerful. And if you're somehow able to keep him alive, I don't know if you have like healing in your deck or what, it's almost like a cheat code.
Yeah, because I mean the same principle applies. If I'm in a single player game, each cell has 2 locks. I use him 2 times. There's another one down. So I've got that one plus the one I had to use to get him gone. So now I have 2 left. He can get 1 down by himself again.
Yeah. He's really powerful in solo.
I mean, and there's other things that do it too, like the Adaptoid. When you defeat him, you get to remove 1. So, and you start the game with at least 1 if you're in solo, 2 if you're in 2-player, it just scales up.
Yeah. I think what really kind of threw me off is I felt like the first scenario had pretty good pacing. I think Brown Arrow had some good pacing. And this one, I felt like the pacing just kind of, you could sit still and just build up. M.O.D.O.K wasn't that threatening. Yeah, you'd have Adaptoids come out, but you can likely take care of them before they're really dangerous. Keep the thwart down so it never gets another environment. And you kind of just sit there and build up, and then you're like, okay, now I'll win. And then you just
Yeah, you just mow
there's
them
really
down a couple
nothing like
times.
pushing you. Yeah.
Yeah. There was no like pace progression. There was no like crescendo and then a climax and then it's like, oh, it's all downhill from here. We have we gotta outrun the big boulder. It was just like, let's just kind of hang out here and unlock these locks.
Yeah, I think the pacing issue is those upgrades. If you can control the thwart, the difficulty level of this scenario is super low. But if you can get another upgrade out, because you can't scheme very well, then it does start to become a difficult scenario. But it's only if you just stink at thwarting.
Like a common theme there, Ryan. This game, you need to have someone that knows how to thwart to keep the scheme down.
True. It's as if it's an important part of the game. Rumors. Okay, but
that's why thwarts are more expensive, right?
It's true. He does come with a bunch of other like upgrades and stuff. Nothing in particular like blew me away. I think there's a lot of the same type of upgrades that you see with other villains. The health one, so on and so forth.
+1/+1.
Yeah.
Acceleration.
Yeah. So nothing
Heals.
Crazy. That image was on that last one was pretty unique.
What is Angela doing there?
Is that Angela?
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah.
My favorite one, did we already pass it? No, we haven't. Okay. My favorite one is this one. He looks like Ant-Man.
That one's pretty good.
He's got a lightsaber. I mean, this is probably my favorite art. It just looks so
That one is a really good one. Yeah.
So.
And that one's kind of nasty too, because it does take an upgrade that you have.
Yeah,
so that's
you just thought that tucking a card was something the heroes did. No. You've got a villain that likes to tuck some cards.
M.O.D.O.K. That's right. He's got some tucking and rolling.
Yeah. So it's X is equal to the printing cost of the card tucked. So I mean that potentially could be bad. And we haven't said it yet, but once he has these, there's no way to get rid of them unless you defeat him.
Yeah.
So in that way, there is a little bit of pacing that it kind of prompts you to go defeat him, or he'll just continually get stronger and stronger and stronger.
Yeah.
But once you defeat him, they're just stuck in the discard for a while, right?
Yeah. And like you said, like scaling, if you're doing solo, this is a little bit of a challenge. If you're in a 4-player, what's 8 health on standard or 14? Like that's a drop in the bucket with 4 players. So it's not going to stay around very long.
Yeah. So he likes his attachments. I think they're good. I think the attachments are well rounded. Get a couple of these to stack on each other. The game can get a little harder, but none of them add like additional retaliate, so you only have to deal with that one. That one to get a little more hit points, and then this one kind of gives them a shield. But other than that, you just gotta attack him.
Yeah, he's I'm gonna say it. He's the easiest villain in this box. For being a number 3, I was not impressed on his difficulty level.
For being a number 3, as long as he's a real number 2.
He's not number 2. But he's definitely he's easy. Unless you get behind the 8 ball, then he can become difficult. But as long as you're on top of it, it's not a challenge.
Yeah, if you mismanage the board state, he can kind of get out of control. But I think he's easy to control his board state. Unless you get this one, he can't take damage. So
that's true. He does take a rescued ally, but then you're gonna get it back, which might be a good thing because it might be almost dead, and then boop, takes it,
Resets.
and then resets the hit points.
Yep.
So that's I don't have a whole lot of additional things about M.O.D.O.K, to be honest. I felt like he had a lot of good ideas, but ideas that I felt like I've played before, so it didn't feel like super brand new to me.
So that's M.O.D.O.K, Ryan.
Allegedly.
And he has one modular set of recommended of the Scientist Supreme. That just adds a bunch of aim minions and shenanigans, I think. So
yeah.
Are they beefier? Are they beefier people? Let's see. So many cards.
I think there's the Supreme.
Oh, that's right. It's got Monica Rappuccini here. Yeah. These ones play off each other.
It's a little tougher aim, but it's not the worst. But it's got some challenges to it.
Yeah. Not awful, but they're a little beefy. They do crazy things, but they're vulnerable, so
yeah, they still have that vulnerable, which helps. Which I would love to play a heavy vulnerable scenario with Miles Morales.
I'll play Jubilee.
You can play Jubilee or Black Panther.
Yeah, that's true.
Black Panther 2.
Yes. Back to Wakanda. Okay.
Back to Wakanda. All right, man. What's final thoughts, man?
So I'm with you. Out of all the scenarios in this box, this has for me been like the most disappointing one to play. It just didn't scratch that scenario itch for me. It felt just kind of boring. Like, and that's like weird to say because this is like one that has so much going on. I mean, you've got like a stack of holding cell cards, a stack of these, allies that are going to be coming out. You've got to, work your way down to get all these tokens out. I just felt like it was a little too easy. And once you figure out how to kind of game it, you just kind of do that one thing, always doing like, a left arrow and a kick in like a fighting game or something. And it's just, you just do that one thing over and over and over and over and over again. And it just wasn't like super challenging.
Yeah, it definitely, I think it's just it doesn't ramp up. As you're getting stronger as a hero, it stays the same. And because of that, you can just sit there until you're like, okay, now I'm ready to actually just destroy him. And that's what you do. So I think this could benefit from some house rolls, and I'm trying to think of some that would work. Part of me's thinking like maybe I could add in some text that's for every, I don't know, click on for me the one of the Inhuman allies real quick. I just want to see the traits. Rescued. Maybe you could do for every rescued ally in play, lower the main scheme threshold by 1. And that's going to make it a lot more difficult, and it will start pumping out hopefully those upgrades a little quicker. So when you've got all 4 of them out, that's going to turn into a 3. It's going to click like every turn. So you've got to be
I like
ready.
Your concept.
That might be too much, but
yeah, except for the fact if you're playing a 4-player, well, I guess it scales, but yeah.
I want to test something that can get those upgrades out, but maybe it's too much. I don't know. But ultimately, I've seen other things that have done this type stuff in scenarios, and it just felt very easy. I didn't feel very challenged. So it didn't make me as happy as I was hoping.
And I don't know if it's just like a scaling thing. Like if 2 players is just that weak spot that it has, it solo expert, could be like the hardest thing ever. I've just not really put much time and energy and effort into it.
But we're players for the common people. We don't just sit on expert all day. I mean, we play expert sometimes, but there's
definitely those guys
standard.
out there. It's just not us.
Yeah, it's just not us. Yeah. If you want to go play expert with the worst one. I'm sure you can find someone playing those. All right, final ratings. Do you want me to go first, or do you want to go?
As long as you don't steal mine, you can go first.
Be.
So mine. Okay, go ahead.
Oh, you want me to go? You want me to go? Okay.
Yeah, you go ahead. Just don't steal mine.
I'm gonna give M.O.D.O.K the rating of M.O.D.O.K because it's just not much. It's okay. It does, I think, things that are fun and things that are okay, and it's easy, and it's not a lot to go back to for me. So it's just a dork. I mean, I'm a dork too, but I'm trying to use some word plays here. That's the best I got.
What you should have done is you should have done M.O.D.O.K.
M.O.D.O.K. It's just a door. It's just an
Yeah.
opening to get to the 4th and 5th villain.
So I'm gonna go with this. It gets a rating of Darren. Just some bad CGI. I know.
Welcome back to the quantum realm, Scott.
Darren?
Surprised to see me?
Darren is dead! There is only M.O.D.O.K! And there's no place you can run, Scott. Not from me.
Yeah, I just this is a weak spot in this box. I know we still have 2 more to go, but I can go ahead and spoiler alert, they're better than this one. So
I mean, I have to be very clear. I don't hate the scenario. I don't think it's a bad scenario. It's just not great. It's very just
yeah. This one's yeah.
I'd definitely rather play this than some of the others for sure. Any day.
Yeah. I don't know. This is just the one out of this box. It was like I could not play this one again and be okay.
Oh, well, maybe next time we play, we'll play this.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't want to be like too harsh on it because like you said, it's just not bad, but it's not good. It's just Darren.
It's just Darren.
So
it's okay. I mean, we can't always win.
right.
I know the designers are working really hard, and sometimes they just, I think for some people, they'll really like this. But not for us.
Tony's got to have a miss every once in a while, okay? So.
Yeah. We have to know that he's human. Okay.
He could be an adaptoid, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, there it is. Only FFG knows.
All right, Ryan. One last thing before we wrap here. If you had to be an inhuman, which inhuman power would you want?
I wouldn't have butterfly wings because I think those would be very fragile. Yeah. I'd probably be the psionic because psionic is an incredibly powerful power.
Now, would you be like him and be a psionic lumberjack? Because that's what he is. He's a psionic lumberjack.
Yes, I would be a psionic lumberjack.
Okay.
Now, Sarah Garza's cool because she's got somehow like flamethrowers coming out of her hand.
Yeah. Right. Okay. So.
And then strong and humans just strong, I guess. So.
What is the glowy thing on the hand?
Maybe there's like channeling of energy
into
like maybe like kinetic, almost like a gambit type thing, but it turns into punch rather than explodey.
All right. What's on the hands on that one? I'm trying to just like look at these arts. Oh, they're like little bracelet, gauntlet, arm thingy-majiggers. Okay.
Kind of looks like a robot.
Yeah.
I mean, this is really good audio content for the podcast listeners, but we're talking about the art for the upgrades.
Yep.
I think the art's all right.
Yeah. I mean, you can't go wrong with a bunch of M.O.D.O.Ks.
Just different ways of drawing a weird face robot thing.
Big giant head with a bad haircut. Yeah.
Darren.
So that's Darren. Oh, I want to know if people feel the same way about M.O.D.O.K as we do, or if they're like his favorite. Is he your favorite in this box? I'm gonna go ahead and say no, but I could be wrong.
You never know. You never know. M.O.D.O.K may have a special place in a lot of players' hearts.
He could. So I guess that's the real question: is if you want to play against M.O.D.O.K, do you play against the villain, or do you just throw in the Doomsday Chair encounter set into like one you actually want to play?
Or really break the rules and play with both.
Play with both. You could do that. Just don't tell FFG.
They're out the back door. They're coming in. They're out the back door.
So that's it. M.O.D.O.K. Let us know. Leave a comment. marvelchampions@gmail.com. Interact with us. We've had some cool interactions with people and comments on the YouTube channel. So thanks for watching and interacting with us. So see people's feedback.
All right. Appreciate everyone listening.
All right.
If you want to go from a chump to a champ, listen to the Marvel Champions podcast.
Thanks.
Did I do good?
You did good. I was gonna say one more thing before we close, so it makes you look weird. If you're going to MCDC,
awkward.
Play a game with us and say hi. I think there's gonna be a few content creators there, so it'll be cool.
Yes.
And we got some cool MCDC stuff coming here in a couple weeks, so be on the lookout.
Just make sure to come and we'll play M.O.D.O.K with you. We'll make Scott suffer.
If you want a game of M.O.D.O.K, come play with us.
We may flip the table at one point, but
That's
yeah,
right.
who cares?
Yeah, who cares? All right. Bye, everybody.
See ya.